Good evening, we are back again for bedtime story. Tonight, I will tell you all about Jack and the monster under his bed. The story happened long ago in small town. There was a young boy named Jack who had a terrible fear of monsters. Every night when it was time for bed, he would lie awake, paralyzed with fear, thinking there is a monster under his bed waiting to grab him when he falls asleep. Thinking of that, he couldn't sleep well at night. His parents tried to convince him there was no monster. His dad said, "There's no need to be afraid, Jack. Monsters don't exist," Jack's mom added. "We've checked under your bed, and there's nothing." Despite his parents' reassurance that there was nothing to be afraid of, Jack could not stop feeling scared. He tried to stay up as late as possible, hoping to tire himself out enough to fall asleep, but it didn't work. One night, Jack heard a strange noise coming from under his bed. His heart began to race, and he started to sweat. He was frightened and wanted to hide. But he remembered something his teacher had said in class. Sometimes our fears are just in our heads, and we need to face them in order to overcome them. This helps to calm him down and confront with his fear. Jack took a deep breath and peeked over the bed. He saw a monster with big eyes staring at him. His fear turned to terror again, but he tried to stay calm. He said to the monster, "Who are you, and why are you down here?" The monster replied, "My name is Sunny. I'm just a friendly monster who lives under your bed. I'm not here to hurt you, I just want to be your friend." Jack was surprised by the monster's response. He had always imagined monsters as scary and mean, but this one seemed different. He asked the monster if he wanted to come out and play, and the monster eagerly agreed. As they spent time together, Jack realized that the monster was not scary at all. In fact, he was quite friendly and funny. The monster showed Jack some of his favorite toys and games that he kept under the bed. They played with action figures, puzzles. The monster also showed Jack some of the cool things he could do. He could make funny faces, tell silly jokes, and even do cartwheels. Jack was impressed and laughed so hard that his sides hurt. After a while, Jack and the monster started to get tired. The monster suggested that they read a storybook together, and Jack agreed. The monster picked out his favorite book from under the bed, and they snuggled up together to read. As the story came to an end, Jack felt his eyes getting heavy. He leaned back against the monster's soft, furry body and felt himself falling asleep. The last thing he remembered was the sound of the monster's gentle snoring. From that night on, Jack and the monster played together every night before bed. They had fun, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company. Jack was no longer afraid of the monster under his bed. The story will end here. Before I leave, I love to have a few words with you all kids tonight. What have we learned from this story? Our fears can be overcome by facing them head-on. Confronting our fear will help us to grow stronger and overcome our weakness. Also, it's important to remember that not everything we imagine or think is true, and sometimes things can turn out to be much different than we expect. Good night you all. See you in the next story.